It's really been one bout of cancer. It never went away completely, but I've had 4 flare-ups, I call them. The first time it was the stomach area. The second time it was the pelvis area where it metastasized. The third time it was in the neck area.
I'm not sure how to approach Brian's prognosis exactly. He's beat the odds so many times, but the outlook is not good.
The 4th bout, as I call it, is more or less dealing with the after effects of the radiation and chemotherapy. That can be even worse than the cancer itself, depending on what treatment options they use.
Brian didn't really make a big issue of it. As a matter of fact, if you didn't know he had cancer, you would have never guessed it, because he just always had such a positive attitude, and that's something that I think reflects in his music as well. And I can't say that my life's not been altered by Brian in some way, shape, or form. Thanks, Brian.
Man, all those frustration guitar throwing sessions are my fault, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Anyone who's experienced chemo knows that you generally lose your hair after a few treatments or a couple weeks of treatment. And the doctors were pretty astounded that I didn't lose very much of my hair at all. As a matter of fact, I only had some thinning. They also realized at that point in time that the death sentence they gave me of about 6 months to a year just wasn't going to happen in my case. It is thought that I got the cancer from living in a neighborhood where there was a factory that was illegally dumping chemicals. A lot of people in the neighborhood all had well water, private wells, and several of them got very ill with all different types of illnesses, and all around the same time. You know, who's to say, but it looks like that was the cause of it. You know, when you're in your early 20s and you suddenly get sick, and a lot of people in your neighborhood do, there's got to be a cause for it. I was considering marriage with Caitlin, who I lived with for a while. And sadly, during this whole period, she got cancer. Went through about a year battle with it and then passed on. You know, the symptoms when I first got it, I just didn't feel right, and the doctors estimated that I maybe walked around with it for about a year not knowing what I had. Caitlin was dying from cancer herself, so I thought a lot of my symptoms were stress related, you know, and I just wasn't feeling good because I was under such a huge amount of stress. It was a pretty scary time.
I would figure you're the guy to handle that task.
Yeah, I was kind of like bouncer slash keyboard player slash singer, you know. It was crazy. It was a good time.
So did you ever have to like take care of business after hours like that?
No, we never, I mean, we never had to take anybody out or, you know, put the cement shoes on.
Yeah, and it's not like you really wanted a lot of money or anything. It's just a small amount so you could go to Denny's after the show for the Grand Slam breakfast.
Just the little things,
you know?
Yeah.
It was just a freak thing that a friend of a friend told me about Bob. I was blown away when I met him because he was very talented, but he was very underused with what he was doing. Most of the stuff he was doing was cover work, and a lot of the songs they were doing had minimal keyboards, and some didn't even have keyboards, so he would just be sitting there holding chords in the background. We kind of hit it off, and it was just great. We got together, and I realized that this guy had the potential to make Spectre happen.
And story told, together forever, both young and old. Day-to-day challenge, faced by the facts, the words sometimes spoken. Alone in a desert, I drink your life, together forever, low and above. August moon, I sing the stars in the sky.
My father passed away from prostate cancer. With cancer, it's a constant struggle.
It was like getting hit twice. Myself being sick, and then having a friend, best friend, and someone in his family that was going to die of it. Knowing that, it was I don't know. Bob and I have been through a real lot.
Oh, yeah.
And it just shows that we can get through anything. I mean, either it be crazy band members or just general life questions. The guy's got a lot of character, and that's why I associate myself with Bob, and Merlin, as he's called. We were so lucky to come across Todd Rose, and he just blew us away when he arrived. He actually had learned all of Dreamland. The whole thing was settled right then and there. We were totally all set to go ahead with Spectre. This album was all about craziness and a lot of runs and speed, They all know that we can do that now, so why don't we do something a little bit different? And maybe here and there we'll throw some of that in, but
sure,
reach more people.
Definitely. I mean, for me, I really enjoyed adding what I can do to the formula that was pre-existing. But I really look forward to being a part of the writing process, maybe a little more on the next album. It's fun. I'd also like to just play some chords maybe on the next album.
Yeah, chords are cool once in a while, aren't they?
Yeah. There's always a joke. It's like, can I play chords?
We had put ads out and everything, and we actually went through a couple auditions of some crazy players that were just nightmares waiting to happen.
That's shredded, right?
Yeah, you were shredded, but it's more of a ballad.
Speed? It's about speed.
Your name is Art, right?
No, it's Arg. It's in a band called Boculism. You ever heard of them? you know, it was kind of stolen. Like, you know, you've heard of botulism, right?
I
yeah,
get
it's
it.
like
All right, yeah,
like
I mean,
botulism,
that's pretty
right?
creative,
You know,
actually.
Bach, you know,
Yeah.
Bach, you know, Mozart.
So you play a lot of classical guitar stuff.
Well, yeah, but you know, I play it pretty fast, so you'd never know it was classical.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
and,
kind of the whole gimmick. I guess.
Yeah, we like, you know, we did a European tour.
All right, so rehearsals are like what, Wednesdays and Fridays or something, or?
Well, why don't we, let me hear it again.
Well, Matt, what I would do is
Meth, dude. It's meth.
meth.
Yeah, meth.
Making this album has been hell. We had just about finished mixing the whole entire album, and my hard drive crashed that contained all the music on it. And I really thought the whole album was lost, but luckily we were able to send it out to Silicon Valley and have, in a white clean room, have the magnets on the hard drive swept, and we were able to restore about 80% of the files.
We did the bulk of each song in one session. Grueling sessions. Brian will attest to that. But there were, I think there were a couple songs where I had to come back. I couldn't even tell you, really. But all I can tell you is that thank goodness we can punch things, because there's so many lines, so many things. I mean, it's the type of music that you simply can't record in one shot all the way through. It's pretty difficult, you know. And plus, Brian being a drummer, it was a unique experience for me also, being in a studio environment where the engineer is a drummer.
I've had a lot of good doctors and I've had a lot of bad doctors. The good ones are the ones that you can actually have a conversation with. I'm really excited to have two really great female doctors right now.
So how are you today?
Okay, a little sore.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can imagine.
the joints have been really acting up.
The weather doesn't help. It's raining today too.
Yeah.
So you must feel that.
Yeah, I definitely feel it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, well, have a seat.
Okay.
I was perplexed, amazed. You know what it is? He has a strong will. As soon as I walked in, I felt it. And that, I think, is a key element that they don't teach you in med school. Okay, as you can see here, this is his cartilage. This is his whole skeletal structure. And what's happening here is it's degrading because of the wear and tear, and he has developed severe arthritis in this case. And you need the cartilage for cushioning, and he's not getting that.
Just when I step on my knees, it's like it takes me a moment to really be able to get my balance and get the feeling right, because they're so numb and sore.
Right.
You know.
I'm sure that every doctor, including myself, has told Brian to quit drumming. It's not conducive to his recovery at all. It's hindering him from getting any better. All the physical exertion is causing nosebleeds, his nails bleeding, just general fatigue.
Yeah, you really have to stop playing the drums.
That's not going to happen unless, you know, I was on my deathbed or something. If I did that, I'd lose all my heart, and that's really what makes you get through something like this. And I love to drum, and I love to do music, and there's just no way I'm going to get out of that, because then what else would I live for? So, that ain't happening.
If you notice here, it's a lot worse. you can't even make it out, and here it's a lot more visible. And yeah, I see a great improvement for Brian. And if he continues with the PT, I think he'll do wonderful.
This is a musician who has been struggling with cancer. He's a marvelous fellow. He's just doing terrific work, and I have been documenting his life, his achievement for over 10 years.
I think a lot of it had to do with his last name being Smith. And we thought, well, Smith and Wesson, that's a weapon. So the weapon thing came out of, I thought it came out of that, and I thought that's what...
I don't know. Call him Mr. Weapon because he's quite the drummer.
It came from a Rush song, the title of a Rush song, and it seemed to fit Brian right away because, first of all, he's a bit of a dangerous musician. Also, on his drum set at the time, he had these custom-made bass drums that were like 4 bass drums that were tied together with a fishing net called the cannons.
Oh, the double bass.
Oh, the really long ones.
The cannons.
Yeah, the cannons.
And on top of that, also, I believe that at the time, Brian was a bit of a womanizer. So there was that aspect of the weapon as well.
From all the theories that I've absorbed, I'd say that the name Weapon dates back to the mid-'80s when he was with a band called Via Satellite.
Well, back in the day of Via Satellite, we liked to joke around and have fun, like most bands, but one of the things I did that was a little different was I drew a cartoon saga about Chris, myself, the Weapon, and Colin.
I love the recordings. And the live experience was always interesting because Glenn and Brian, who were hams to the nines, had this outrageous stage setup where Brian was on the ground, so he was here in the middle, I was here on the left, Chris was here on the right, and Glenn was way up on the top. And they had these ramps and whatnot running up and down, and they insisted that I have a wireless mic and be able to run up and down and just socialize with them the entire time. Hams.
Me and Brian were kind of like the clowns of the band, I guess.
One of Brian's things that he had to work on was stopping. He didn't ever quite know when to stop the solo. So we had come up with a signal on stage that when we were ready to go back into the song, we would go. And of course that was kind of a rock and roll move, so it seemed to work. So in rehearsal it worked fine, okay? Gig time comes, Brian's going crazy, I start going, Colin starts going, Chris starts going, the whole band's going at Brian, and all he's doing back is this. Thinking that we're really into it, you know?
I forgot.
Could never get Brian to stop playing drums. That's my fondest Weapon memory.
I cringe a lot when I see Glenn. The mullet is insane. I cringe a lot when I hear my voice crack. I cringe a lot when I see the smoke just engulf Brian. There's a scene in that video that he just disappears in this cloud of smoke. I find that hilarious. But I cringe. It's awful. I got the most chicks in the band. Brian always had a girlfriend. Chris didn't see anybody. Glenn wasn't seeing anybody. I got the most chicks in the band.
So Brian then was a serial monogamist?
He was a serial monogamist. That's a good way of putting it. The entire time. Through Via Satellite. What happened after Via Satellite? I can't really speak to that too much, but he got the name The Weapon somehow.
What was the point where you guys knew that you had to hire roadies to carry all that stuff? Was it when you started touring through the Northeast?
Yeah, that was when we became physically unable to move our own equipment. Based on, heavy gigging and partying, lack of sleep and so on and so forth. And, not that we had the funds to actually hire any roadies, but that's when we realized that we needed to hire some roadies.
probably just for Brian's drums, you'd need a whole guy just to be the roadie to carry the drums, right?
Yes, exactly. But it was pointless because we had no money anyway.
So how many roadies did you guys have then?
We had 0 roadies.
Oh. Yeah. See, I thought he told me that you guys eventually had to hire some to like carry all the equipment. You never did?
It's possible, and it's quite possible that I don't remember any of that, which is probably true.
If it happened, it probably happened after I left the band. So
it probably happened while I was there.
Chris's memory's not the greatest. It never has been.
I wouldn't.
You're right. Exactly.
There it is. Via Satellite Saga in its entirety.
You know, you really haven't explored the whole saga of the legendary band Via Satellite until you have delved into the curious history of its brilliant, eccentric guitarist, Pat O'Brien.
Okay, so if I'm talking to him, I talk to him. If I'm talking to the camera, I'm talking to you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh, by the way,
you talking to me?
Oh, you know, it's like, okay, I can't. Should I say anything about the
The what?
Yeah.
Oh boy, so that'll be good.
Lori, you have to leave now. Yeah. Because I can't edit what you hear.
So why don't we start like with how you and I met? You could tell that story, Pat.
Okay. I can or I cannot smoke in this?
You can't.
Oh, yeah, sure.
No,
you don't want.
No, because the thing is with the cancer issue. That's how it is.
Yeah, your defense, your sensibility.
Yes, but
It'll make me look bad.
Does anybody want more?
I'm all set, thanks.
I want more.
Do you have soda in there?
Yeah.
I'll have soda.
Soda?
You don't have any diet stuff, do you? No.
No, fuck that.
Where did the weapon name come from? Because I've heard differing stories.
Well, Brian's very proud of his weapon.
Do you think Glenn Nelson coined the term later, or do you think, well, I think that's a valid theory, but it's kind of nebulous. Other people say, it sort of started with an idea and certain people ran with it, including Brian himself. He liked the name. And where did you ever hear it coming from?
I don't have an honest answer to that. I think if you're going to beat the shit out of something, as well as he does, then you need to have something that's going to say, hello, fuck with me, come on. And that's the way it was back in those times. 80s just said, come on, fuck with me. Well, he said, I got the balls here and now to call myself the weapon. Fuck with me. If you can do half what I can do on the drums, and he had the balls to say it, and he still does, fuck with me. I am the weapon.
Well, basically, I've made a living by writing touristy history books of the state of Connecticut. Not very ambitious work, but it's paid the bills. What I really have put my energy into is some work that's unpublished. The secret history of Connecticut, what really has gone on. I call it Nathaniel Schermerhorn's Epic History of Connecticut. I'm on volume 35 already. Everything you would ever want to know about Brian Weppen is in this book. I have devoted over 10 years to researching, documenting, and learning every facet of his career. It's a magnificent story. This is it. This is called Weaponology. Picture, if you will, a hot summer night right here in a small town in western Connecticut.
He played in this fine establishment that we're sitting in front of right now, Lewis Mills High School. There was a battle of the bands. He had this really over-the-top drum cage that had, various parts that had to be put together, but I guess I didn't put them together very well.
Either that or was another band sabotaged it.
That's probably more
we don't know.
Happened, yeah. It was kind of a rough night.
Brian was sitting in for the band Von Cougar. During a drum solo, which was, of course, incredible, being that it was Brian Smith, his drum cage couldn't stand the vibration and resonance of all of the multiple drums that he was, and cymbals that he was hitting at the time. So the front of the drum cage fell forward and just missed the lead singer and came crashing down in front of everyone.
The cymbals were down, but Von Cougar was not. Remember, this was the 80s. The band had no choice but to rock on.
And he just continued to play, and the show went on as usual. And nobody seemed to care.
I guess on the night of that, the fiasco where his drum kit fell down, there's a lot of differing theories, and apparently you figured out what happened?
Yes, I did. Someone switched the bolts. Had to be someone with access, obviously. Someone who hates the band.
It's possible that somebody could have sabotaged that drum set if they knew exactly which screw to loosen. It's possible.
Dr. Hans von Cougar Helmenberger
has done exemplary work into the unraveling of this now legendary mystery. His interest in this matter is quite clear to see.
Dr. Hans was actually the bass player
in the band Von Cougar. He used to play heavy metal,
and he is now a physicist of heavy metals.
Like, was it one person acting alone?
Well, the theory is it's from some exchange student from another band, a band who we were competing with that night. So, it must be him.
Dr. Hans is quite the madman on campus. Every September, he puts his freshman students through physics boot camp. He'll throw bolts on the ground and yell at the top of his lungs how it was sabotaged.
What kind of music was it?
It's a little Frank Hogan Simon, Tesh and that, and little better.
A further mystery in all of this is why he gave up rock and roll for physics.
When it comes to Mr. Weppen and the ladies, I could go on for 1,000 pages. In fact, I did. Editing this chapter down to half that size is a remarkable display of restraint, considering the magnitude and scope of the subject matter. Keep an eye out for the color-coded table on page 425. It lists every band Brian has ever played in and how many bras were thrown on stage. Wow, it looks like Von Cougar gave Via Satellite a run for its money. As Dr. Hans can attest, those truly were wild times. In the appendix, you can find a supplement that breaks down what percentage of thrown bras were a direct result of Mr. Weppen tearing off his shirt and whipping the crowd into a frenzy. Brian has a great variety of female stalkers. 7% are ex-girlfriends, 12% are general psychos, and 81% are groupies.
Are you mad that he let me borrow his car? You know what? You're just mad that I went out with him and you didn't.
I don't care. The whole time he was thinking about me.
He was not
thinking about you. He didn't have enough balls to come up to the most prettier one, you know.
The most prettier one? Yeah, you sound educated.
Okay, hello. We went to what high school?
I don't remember.
Oh God, me neither.
Did we graduate?
I don't
know. Okay.
Okay.
Anyways, you ready to go?
Sure.
Okay.
She was kayaking and it was like really rapidy water. She flipped over and she bumped her head and she saw this gorgeous guy.
It sounds like he kind of gave you mouth to mouth, but it might not have even been necessary.
I don't know who taught him mouth to mouth, but hey, that was fine with me.
And I just followed him around ever since.
In this book, I reveal all of my secrets on how to marry a rock star.
Have you ever been married?
Nope, not yet. I'm waiting for Brian.
I guess, all people should read it, although I don't know how, it's mostly for females, I guess.
Well, if you have your, sights set on that special lady rock star, you can use the same tips probably.
Never wear underwear. That's brilliant.
Were there ever any other guys in bands besides Brian that you like?
Absolutely not. It's those eyes, those aqua blue-green eyes. It's like being in Bermuda.
One of my secrets is you need to make the victim feel like they're in control and the only person in the world. And the reality is I'm always in control.
Do they ever get rough?
Yeah, they do get rough, but I like it rough sometimes.
Are they the victim because once they sleep with you, they fall in love with you?
I don't want to sound too cocky, but that tends to happen.
Yeah, well, it can be great sometimes, but...
What, the sex?
Yeah.
They called me the typical groupie? No, she's the groupie. Look.
Would you consider yourself a groupie?
Oh, no.
Girls are petty and jealous all the time, so you get some hate mail, but not that much. More so thank you notes from the girls who have used my tips successfully.
You wanted to come with me. You just wanted to bring you with me. I do love you. I'm sorry. I'm not really mad, but
You're jealous.
Is that all?
Groupie packs tend to fall into category types. There are the snooty ones, always first on the scene to get their man. There are the anonymous but unrelenting ones. And of course, the ones who make it their life's work to sneak backstage. You'd swear they were born with that silly backstage pass around their neck.
Let me get those for you.
No, don't touch that.
There you go.
No, don't touch that either.
Can I touch this?
No, you can't touch it.
Some days they linger outside the Spectre studio for hours, just frantic for Brian to emerge.
This is a really good book, I'll have you know.
Who are you going to marry?
I'm going to marry Brian, of course.
Oh, please. Good luck.
How are you going to do that when you
can't even talk to him?
He loves me. He just doesn't know it yet. Okay? Brian loves me. He just doesn't know it yet.
He will, honey. He never will.
He's going to come right out here.
Oh, my God.
There he is.
Go on in.
This is my
house and my car.
You're not getting in this car, baby.
I don't think so.
Another time.
Another time.
Okay, you're 91. I know what kind of car.
I got a show to
Do
go
I
to.
even care if you know what kind of freaking car? Yes, he does. He's a car man. He calls it his stealth instead of his car. You just let me get in.
Though Brian storms off in his stealth, the girls are sure to track him down. This happens no less than 3 days per week.
All right, Brian, do we have a decision here? Yeah, I think I'm going to get the L16.
It is truly lamentable that Mr. Weapon is continually harassed in this way while trying to enjoy a quiet lunch.
Can I have the general sandwich? You're not having it.
Luckily, the manager steps in on Brian's behalf and kicks them out.
Order here, or you in or take out.
Even if Mr. Weapon is on the road, hundreds of miles from Connecticut, these cunning groupie packs still track him down at his hotel.
This is really obsessive behavior, and you're scaring me now.
I mean, we had to do a lot of work just to get her to see you. But Brian, we love you so much. We just want to be with you all the time.
Have you guys been drinking?
A little.
Well, I can't let you drive if you've been drinking, so you guys can stay here, but you're
I'll
going to
just
have
stay in
to
your
fit into
bed.
one bed, okay? Hands off! I'm trying to get some sleep.
Brian was running one day, and not because he was being chased by groupies. It was just an ordinary afternoon, but one that would change his life. This was the day he met Amy Golds. The first moments were a little rough, but as they say, love hurts.
I wasn't paying attention and I smashed my head, I think.
Oh, wow.
I'll be okay.
It was more than just okay. It was magic between them since that very first encounter.
I trip over things all the time.
Really?
And they've been together ever since.
In the earliest volumes of the epic history, I delved quite deeply into the link between alcohol and the slave trade in Connecticut's economy.
As we pull back and look at the larger picture of Mr. Weapon's industry, I cannot stress enough the importance of alcohol in rock music.
It can promote creativity. It's not saying that it's a good thing, but I mean, there's poets in the history of man that look back and without the alcohol, they wouldn't even think of working on their poetry, you know?
I like a bottle of your finest Stengenheimer.
Sure. Would you say that alcohol increases musical creativity?
Yes, and it makes me happy. I think there's a freedom and a liberation.
It informs and inspires.
It informs and inspires. It inebriates.
That's where I get my sense of my creativity from.
Do you think Spectre would be a better band if they drank more?
Oh, definitely. Everyone's better at drinking.
To what extent would you say that drinking contributed to the creativity or the vibrancy of Via Satellite? Was it the driving force or just a thing that you did as kids?
Depends on what you're talking about. Depends on the songs that you're talking about. If it was something that I wrote, sometimes there was something a little bit more than drinking. you know, I like to exercise a lot. I got a lot of adrenaline from that and everything, and that would make the mind so much stronger. And you know how I'm into my exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian is a big coffee drinker.
He is.
Do you abuse caffeine with him?
We're horrible together. We're like two caffeine junkies when we get together, which probably explains why the album sounds the way it does.
After long rehearsals and sessions that went to 2 or 3 in the morning, it was really awesome that Bob, Todd, and I could just sit down and have a couple beers. With everything that's gone on with my cancer, I found out that I became less and less tolerant to wheat. And I was tested, and it was found out that I had something called celiac disease. I can't break down the wheat proteins and the wheat gluten in beer or bread or anything like that. Merlin can certainly make the gluten disappear. And now with his new mindboard technology, he's able to mix this extravagant beer. I mean, I haven't even heard of half of these flours, let alone watching this guy with his mindboard making the blender go on its own. I mean, it's an amazing feat. Those days of Merlin, Todd, and I sitting down will soon be back. Everyone has cancer in them. You just need a key to unlock it. Everybody in their system has lymph glands, which basically fights any disease you get. What happens with this type of cancer is the non-Hodgkin's lymphoma attacks the lymph system, and they start to swell and they don't work very well. As a matter of fact, I had quite a large tumor on my pelvis area. So the radiation came into play for the tumor. They bring you into, it looks like an X-ray type machine. You don't feel a thing. You can feel a little bit woozy over time. It's more rare. It's not like the immediate effect you get from chemotherapy, which is like instantaneous, like 20 minutes into your chemo, you normally want to just go be sick, and get it over with. The only thing you can say to yourself is that, all right, I got to go through this to get to that. And that would be a possible remission and getting over the cancer. And that's the only way you can get through something like that, because it's just terrible. You're fighting cancer with other toxic chemicals. And that combination of drugs, it's kind of a chemo cocktail, I call it. So they're quite two different styles of treatment. Pretty much radiation's like pointing a gun at the cancer.
If only it were that easy to knock it out in one shot.
You need to believe in something to get through anything traumatic. When things aren't going so well with my health, and there's a lot of questions of what might be happening that would not be favorable to me, I usually will stop at a church, and it can be any church, to say a little prayer. And to me, that's just like my way of getting prepared and accepting what possibly could be told to me that day from the doctors. It's funny, I got used to having all these cancer doctors before, and now I've got all the after effects from the cancer, and I have a whole new slew of doctors. Thus far, we know that there is a problem with the bladder. I've been getting up about 10 to 12 times a night to visit the bathroom, and we're just trying to figure out if the bladder is related to what's going on in the legs too, or there's a second problem in the brain or in the spinal column somewhere.
Now, when you relieve that pressure in the bladder area, does the numbness go away?
A lot.
There are basically a series of levels of circuits that are built in, and you have one set of wiring that is purely from the spinal cord in the pelvis to the bladder. You had radiation and chemotherapy to the pelvis. So there's definitely some evidence of damage to the bladder itself from the radiation.
So these symptoms, would you say they're constant throughout the day?
They're becoming more constant. The legs are definitely weaker all the time.
And has there been pain in the legs at that time?
Occasionally there's pain in the legs when I feel a really intense pressure from the bladder area.
Now, how many of these episodes have you had? There was one particularly troublesome episode.
Yeah, there was one Sunday that I couldn't get up out of bed for over an hour. And finally, when I was able to get the pressure relieved from my bladder, the feeling started to come back. They're going to look into my brain and see if there's any possibility of any pressure on the brain or any pressure on the spinal column to see if that could be contributing to what's causing my leg issues.
I don't know that we're going to see regaining of function I don't know that we're going to see any improvement in your symptoms. If that's the case, then we have to figure out a way to empty your bladder without you generating such high pressures. Long-term pressure in the kidneys can cause kidney failure.
I can either get a catheter to clean my bladder out every day, which, being a young guy, I don't think any guy would want to do, or I can get a device put on the actual sacral nerves, which are in the lower pelvis, and basically stimulate the nerves so I can go normally again.
If you were to have any more episodes of not being able to move at all, you need to contact us immediately, okay?
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Whatever happens, happens at this point, and I'll just make the best of it. I mean, that's all you can do in this type of situation, and everyone has their own destiny and what's going to happen to them. You know, it's always good to have the Supreme Being on your side. The chemo I experienced in the initial round of cancer was terrible. For the first few weeks, I really wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get through this. During that period, I really started to see quite a few weird things happening, hallucination type things, be it ghosts or people with halos on them, childhood characters such as, you know, the Easter Bunny.
I could relate to Brian's experiences in the hospital going through that.
The house you lived in was a former funeral home.
Out of nowhere, I was fighting this force. I grabbed the blankets as hard as I could, and I'm pulling with all my might. And this force is pulling the blankets off me. Basically, I mean, I have no clue what that force was, but I know that it wasn't a normal thing. I wasn't dreaming it. I was wide awake.
I mean, it was to the point where my glands in my neck were just like popping out, and my glands under my armpits were so swollen that any movement I made was just horrendous. Even with the painkillers, I still could feel the pain. Some of the hallucinations I had while I was in the hospital resembled alien faces in like circular halos. I felt like death was just looking down on me, waiting to take me. And then there was a calming experience to the hallucinations where I felt at ease when there was very light-shaded figures that resembled angels around me. I felt like everything's going to be okay. And each time that I had another bout of cancer through the years, it became easier because I knew that there was some light at the end of each period of cancer that I would go through. I had to make myself feel like I was safe for the time being. And the way I did that was I pretended to be a knight. Knights are brave, they're pretty fearless. They go into battle, they wouldn't care if they got killed because they thought that their cause was meaningful and they would die with honor. I would envision myself as a knight, always being followed by death, but always one step ahead of death. If death got close to me, I would confront it, stab it in the back, and go on to live the next day.
As if the specters weren't enough, Brian has also had his mind invaded by a recurring nightmare. The stalkers are out, and they're going for gold in the groupie Olympics.
Lillian Lustenfield always makes an appearance, promoting her book, of course. Groupie Amanda is there, and her jealous friend Jen. Belinda Buford is there. Now let me explain that one a little.
I remember vaguely kicking her out of the hotel room.
She swears that she and Brian hooked up one night.
I think she migrated up from Mississippi or something a long time ago. She knocked on the door with a giant chicken or turkey leg.
Who knows what really happened?
I'm not lying to you.
I'm going to ask you the last time. Mr. Weapon, was there any physical contact between you and Miss Buford on the night in
I
question?
categorically deny any physical contact with Miss Buford.
You're lying to me, aren't you?
Potentially naughty Nurse Erica Love is there. Amy is there to bring some sanity to the proceedings. The Easter Bunny sneaks her way in. Even Caitlin is there, but she's too embarrassed to show her face.
What would a nightmare sporting event be without a boisterous commentator?
This is Dick Dastardly coming at you from FUC Sports, where if you see it, you have to believe it.
Dick even goes cruising for chicks.
Okay, so who wants to hold my clipboard? I'm here with JJ Flash, Brian's trainer. JJ, could you tell me how you think Brian's going to fare this year in the Groupie Olympics?
I think he's going to do real well. Been training him real hard, tying rope around him while he pulled me on a bike. Been pushing me around the wheelbarrow. He's going to do real well this year.
Faster, Brian, faster! Get going, yeah! Amy, tell me, how do you think you're going to do this year in the Groupie Olympics?
Well, I think I'm going to do great, Dick. Actually, I'm planning on taking Brian away from all this craziness.
Well, you know, I've had some special moments with Brian when he was in the hospital, when he was unconscious.
And exactly how are you going to use that in the race?
Come on, whack somebody with it.
Merlin is Bob Sundgren's alter ego, but it goes even further. In this nightmare, he is transformed into an evil version of the alter ego, Merlin Pimperachi.
What is that?
This is for the start of the race. I lift up the gun, and there it goes. Bang.
We were both speed demons at one point, you know?
Yeah, I don't know what happened in the meantime. Maybe age. Who
No,
knows?
we're
like
still
a fine
both
wine.
fast, but we were just ridiculously fast.
We worked from about beginning of 96 to 99 putting together Above Ground Level, our first Spectre album. On our website, we decided to put up high-quality, full-length MP3 versions of the songs to get more exposure and get people pumped up about the CD that would be coming out. Big mistake. Shortly after, we found out that our music had been hijacked overseas and bootlegged. So that kind of took the wind out of the original Spectre lineup. The makeup of Bob and I, we learned that we really wanted this that bad because we stuck together where most people would have just given up and walked away and said, screw it. It just proved that we could get through almost anything.
We had the musical flow right from the start between Brian and Rob Jekyll and myself.
Being able that he could play bass and guitar was a really great thing.
Yeah, working with Rock was interesting because you had Bob's voice, which is a little more smoother than you have Rock's voice, which has a little more grit to it. But they have somewhat of a similar tone.
Bob Sundgren is my uncle. When he was in his high school years, I was just a little kid, and every Sunday my parents would, after church, stop at the house, and by then he's got the whole set up with the keyboards and everything, and he's just anything that was keyboard oriented was what Bobby was listening to.
How fitting that Spectre's rehearsal space was in a former weapons factory.
When I pulled up there in the parking lot in this old factory, I always felt like you could feel the spirits around you, you know? You pull up and you have this run-down building, but then when you walk in the door and you go downstairs, it's like walking into the Oasis. You walked in and you just said, yeah, I can hang out here for a few years. That's how you felt when you were there, really. It was a magical place. When I got there, I was ready to make music. It was just the ultimate. You had the Farmington River behind you.
It was a great place because we could get as loud as we wanted and really we could play till all hours of the night to really tailor our songs and get them down pat. But the advantage was we had tons of space.
He just made it like that because, well, Rainforest Productions. He loves, he had the whole theme. There was lions and there was, exotic birds and stuff, and there was just all kinds of things. And the way he decorated the place, it was definitely amazing how Brian lived in this studio, and it didn't come close to being any kind of house or living accommodations.
It was also cool because not only was a studio there, my living quarters was there. So Amy and I, we had lived there quite a while, and we had actually made a nice portion of the factory a living quarters. And then I had my separate life, which was on the other side, which was the studio itself.
Together they made it a home. I mean, he took this basement-looking place and threw out this nice carpet and had the whole place decorated.
But then you had a lot of the things that weren't so great, and that was like rats crawling around in the middle of the night in the place. You go into the little apartment kitchen in the place and you have a rat run over your foot, which was not fun.
Most people in his state would not even have the ambition to go get the newspaper outside their door. Yet here he is, taking on this huge project.
You would never even realize that he had cancer if he didn't say anything. Sometimes I'd even forget because he was just so upbeat all the time.
I wish it was still there. I wish he was still there, that I could just go visit him,
Brian's mastery of the drums is not just about technique and power.
Ever since his earliest days of playing, he has been equally as interested in absorbing and exploring musical styles.
He was Uncle John. He was cool. He played the drums. He rocked, and I wanted to be like him. I gradually got the big idea that I would steal some spoons and go bang on his drums.
No, if you were looking for Brian, he wasn't upstairs. I knew where he was. He was in the basement.
Watching him beat the hell out of drums and jam with his friends and look cool with them, and then seeing the drums, it was like a total package altogether. I had to get on him and beat him silly.
Had to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By age 19, his dedication had propelled him from the local spotlight to the big time.
Caitlin had convinced me to do a couple drum competitions, and I did a few, and I did really well. She actually convinced me to do one of the biggest ones, which was the Boston Power Drummers competition. So I headed up to Boston and said, okay, I'll give it a shot. I'm probably going to get blown out of the water. There's so many great drummers out there. But I ended up winning the competition, which was a shock to me. I caught the attention of a famous person in the audience. Their drummer had left to do another project, as did their guitarist. The guy from the supergroup was so impressed with my showmanship and playing that he said, hey, why don't you come try out for the band? A few weeks later, I was back and forth to New York City to a rehearsal space working with them. At first, I was totally so excited to be in this big supergroup, or I should say, they were a fading supergroup at that point.
It was great at first. We thought we were on our way to stardom and MTV and all that good stuff.
The band was really in dire straits. One of the members wanted to redo some of his solo material that he had done years before, and the other members wanted to do, or I should say the other member wanted to do more pop-oriented stuff that he had done in his previous career with other bands. Things took a turn for the worse in my personal life. Caitlin was diagnosed with serious stage 4 cancer, and I had asked for a few weeks off to, because things were just getting worse with her and I wanted to be there. Instead, what I got was, you're being dismissed from the band. To top this whole thing off, at the same time I was pretty ill and I had been seeing a doctor to see what was wrong with me, and it was finally found out that I was suffering from lymphoma myself. They never were to come out and said to my face, we're firing you because you have cancer. They used all different excuses to fire Brian and I. They also didn't want to pay us.
I don't understand it myself. I figured, some sort of compensation was in order. We just wanted to stick it to him a little bit,
Ryan had suggested that we go see a lawyer. There's a gag order. I can't even discuss with anyone the name of the supergroup.
This essentially was a case of unfair termination, but there was a lot more going on than just that. It became abundantly clear right away that all of this stress just compounded the problems that he was already facing with. I think the biggest component of it was the imbalance of power that was involved here. It very much was a David versus Goliath situation.
The other thing is I had to deal with the ridicule of friends who didn't understand the situation and couldn't understand why I couldn't tell them exactly what happened.
There are severe monetary sanctions that are involved in this settlement in the event that either side are to reveal parts of the settlement that they're not supposed to reveal. There's an old saying in the law that a good settlement makes both sides go away unhappy.
In all our years of Spectre being a band, we recorded 2 CDs. The first one, Above Ground Level, was pirated, and the second one, Dreamland, took about 3 years to make because of several different things that just went terribly wrong. It would have taken 1 year if we didn't have to fire the first 2 Dreamland lineup members and replace all their parts. So we really tracked Dreamland practically 3 times because the second time we lost most of the data when the hard drive crashed on my computer. Spectre took a little while to really come up with the right web designer for our type of imagery, and she really encompassed that whole feeling with the artwork that she did. As a matter of fact, the opening was a UFO fly-in, and then there was other ideas too, like one of the ideas was to add an eye to the pyramid, and the next day I went onto the website and there was the eye sitting in the pyramid blinking at you.
Dreamland's complexity and sci-fi imagery is brought to life not just on the website but in music videos. This is a new frontier for Brian, and he is conquering it at light speed.
I think when we started shooting our music videos, I felt that I wanted to incorporate some of my editing skills from the audio world and convey them over to the video world. You have spurts where you can work on a project for a few days, and then you have a few weeks where you don't even get to touch it again. So I can't wait to just finish the videos. We're currently working with Akis Uracosta. He's a great cameraman and a good friend, actually. I've known him for many years.
So now, next week, we got the babes coming. Are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to, shooting the next step. Whatever it takes.
Did any of the girls say they would do nudity if it's tasteful?
I hadn't spoken to any of the girls. I don't know who's actually going to be here.
Oh, I guess I'll have to ask Brian about that.
Okay.
We used a studio in Bristol, Connecticut for all the green screen shots. So then later on, when I'm able to transfer the footage into my computer system, I can add whatever environment I want. Spacecraft or alien faces, whatever we want to add to the back walls. So that's the trick, to make it look like it's big budget when it isn't.
The great thing about it is Brian knows what he really wants to see, and he'll be able to put it together with what we've got, I think. And I am happy I'm not doing the final editing, because that's a hell of a lot of work.
Since I felt like the band was an organization, why not make the Spectre girls and the band have similar clothing? And throughout the video, the girls are chasing the aliens, trying to save the one abductee who has the key to all the information of the universe. Their job in the video is to save the girl and extract the information. And in the end of the video, the girl disappears, to be continued to the next video.
How does Brian pay the bills? This remains a mystery of epic proportions, on a level with the search for the origins of the weapon name itself.
I don't know where the hell he ever got his money from to buy all these wonderful drums, and he had the biggest drum sets, double basses, and so on and so forth.
The only thing about Brian that I've never understood is what he does for a job.
Off the record, I must report that Mr. Weapon operates a petty scheme that preys upon even his close friends and bandmates.
Ever since the Spectre site was launched, we get a lot of weird emails, some good, some bad. Definitely more flattering when you get emails that include nude photos of women. most of which I never ever see because Brian keeps them all for himself, or occasionally he'll actually charge us for them. That's how he pays his bills for the studio, but
some mysteries are best left unanswered.
The recording, re-recording, and mixing of Dreamland has taken up the better part of Brian's time for years now.
Though the driveway at his studio is blockaded by groupies, a handful of zealous musicians always barrels their way through. The only thing standing between them and rock stardom
is the recording of their very first demo.
I tend to help a lot of musicians that are starting out, or I should say need a little extra help producing or whatever. And one of the most interesting people that I've come across in a long time is a character by the name of the Dark Star. He's always dressed in black. He comes to the studio with his weapons. He believes that he is a Dessarian knight of ancient times and that he has a message to get across in his music.
I have been known to be called Dessar, D''S''R. Dessar is short for Dark Star. And anyone who listens to the music or believes in the philosophies of Epica are the Dessari. They are the Dessarian Knights. Come now, plebe. It's time to get started on your journey into darkness.
Yes, master.
He's not one to go sacrifice lambs and children, but he's one to embrace the fact that there is evil on this planet.
There's an honor to it. It's evil done tastefully. Epica speaks of every subject no one wants to talk about. This whole rock opera starts forming in my mind. Little Jimmy's upstairs with his computer. He's having a wonderful time popping little pills. The girl that tripped on X. The cutters of the world. I've talked to these people. No one pays attention to them. In the end, they all end up here. Dead. I don't condone it. They have no outlet. They have no freedom. They have no release. It's a damn shame. That's where the idea for the sound came from, to make it grand, make it big, to make it epic.
The rich historical tapestry of Dark Star and his Dessarian lineage is worthy of an entire volume in my epic history of Connecticut. Even though volume 36 is bound and ready for publishing, the story is really not complete.
Until the masses are exposed to Epica, the final chapter in the living legend of Dessari lore cannot be written.
The sacred right
of a Dessarian knight is to wield the Emperor's battle axe.
And as their plead begins his training,
fear must heed the knight's attacks.
Master wait.
For centuries, Dark Star has driven his Dessarian knights in training across the state by foot.
Pick up the pace. It won't be much further.
Yes, master.
This way.
Yes, master.
The darkness embodied by a Dessarian knight is captured in poetry. At times, their lore is reminiscent of T.S. Eliot.
We are the quiet ones. It's always a different shade, a different face of darkness. The sun sets on our world, and thus endeth another day. You're doing the most with your days.
The internet is an imperative recruiting tool for such a sacred faction of poet warriors. Dark Star scours the virtual dungeons of goth and vampire enthusiasts, honing in on those elite few that might ever be worthy of Dessarian knighthood.
Multi-user dungeons are the type of things where one would go and live out their fantasies on a text-based RPG, role-playing game. I am the vampire lord there.
Dessar views the internet as a double-edged battle axe. For all its humanistic potential, he cannot help but grieve over its tendency to bring out the worst in us.
If you want to find religion, it's there. If you want to find information, it's there. If you want to find medicine, it's there. If you want to find sex, it's there. And you say, oh, let me go on the internet and find it so I can watch it. What the bloody hell is wrong with you people?
Very good, master. Very good.
Master! You don't have all day.
We had to transcend what was in his head to the actual computer.
There's so much hokey music out there. I said, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come up with something that talks about every subject nobody wants to talk about. And that's how it happened. It's got to be grand. It's got to be epic. So far, the flagship piece is a song called Dark Side. Do you know what happens when you listen to an epic song that brings out all the tortured emotions that you've left deep inside that no one else is allowed to see? You get energy.
Faith has left you disillusioned. Belief has been washed aside. Seeking an end to mass confusion, look within yourself to find solace in the dark side.
We put our kids on drugs so that we don't have to deal with them. We drug our kids so we can work harder. And every part of that is in every song that I do. There's something about what you're missing, what you're lacking, what the world has let go. What they mask over. The idea is that I am touching on the music that no one else wants to. Some people might mix me up and say, hey, you're God. No. I'm epic.
Upon hearing Spector's music, it is clear that they are not right in the head.
Completing Dreamland has clearly robbed Mr. Sundgren and Mr. Weapon of whatever shreds of sanity they may have still possessed before embarking on this treacherous journey. Though the Spector studio is an insane asylum, its occupants are quite aware of the outside world.
The phone line should really be disconnected because it presents dangerous possibilities.
Good afternoon, may I help you?
I need the hottest chicken vindaloo you've ever made. I want it hotter. I want it so hot that you couldn't take it, okay?
Super hot vindaloo, sure.
I have my friend here, and he thinks he knows hot food, but we're going to teach him a little lesson, all right?
Sure, we'll make sure it's super hot for you.
Okay.
Delivery from New India. This is super hard chicken vindaloo.
Oh,
Indian
excellent.
spices.
Excellent. What do I owe you?
Is it hot or mild?
No, I ordered it mild for you. You said mild, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's never a good thing when these two get outside. They took a field trip to a lovely and historic part of Connecticut, and wouldn't you know it, Brian bought something at the gift shop and has victimized Bob with it ever since.
This is ridiculous. Stop beeping.
For all my exhaustive research, I must confess, I am no closer to answering this eternal question.
If there was a definitive answer, wouldn't that just take all the fun out of it?
Smith is Weapon.
Brian's a speedy drummer. So fast, he sounds like an automatic weapon.
It's the incredible vibration. It produces a resonance enough to bring down a steel building.
I'll tell you, I have seen The Weapon, and it's awesome.
I don't know anybody else coined the phrase, but him, because he's got so much balls.
There you go.
It's a never-ending thing at this point. I really hope that the morning sickness, as I call it, it's like I'm pregnant or something, but the morning sickness will eventually go away. I'm hoping that with tons of physical therapy and more vitamin therapy to at least be able to continue to have somewhat of a normal life. Really, you know, the doctor's telling me I wasn't even going to be here. It's just something that comes with the game. I mean, there's so many people that just give up when they get a death sentence from a doctor. What am I going to do, sit around and mope and do nothing all day? Where's your brother? Go get your brother. It's not practical to think that someone you live with can stay with you 24/7. They have to go on with their life while you're recovering. When I got ill with my latest bout of cancer, I ended up getting 2 puppies that were giant breeds. I got a Pyrenean Mastiff, which is a rare breed, very similar looking to a St. Bernard, but a lot bigger and heavier. And then I got a giant Alaskan Malamute. And I figured if I was going to get 2 dogs, they better be close in size because the other one could get squished. if they're wrestling. It was really helpful for me to have the companionship of the 2 dogs around when I was working during the days. I don't know, it just seemed to make the whole healing process go a lot better.
For the last few months I've been working on my new studio, which is almost like a rebirth of myself. What makes the studio even more exciting is I'm finally out of this little cramped room that I was in for a few months while the studio was being built. There's been a lot of hard work involved. I actually laid down the wood floors myself and installed a lot of the walls. The thing that's really great about the new studio is there's 5 distinct rooms. I actually have a separate drum room that is properly set up to sound at its best. And I set up a vocal booth so I also could see the vocalist this time. Then there is a video area that has a green screen set up so I can do a lot of in-house special effects. This time the whole studio has been based around a 5.1 surround sound system. I can mix in surround sound in the control room and then actually go see it as if I was sitting in a mini movie theater. I really put my heart and soul into the studio even though I was feeling miserable. So it might have taken me a lot longer than an average person, but in the end I'm really proud of what came out of it. I've learned to actually live through dealing with death. You can either totally give up, roll over and die, or you can move ahead and fight the waves and the storm. There's things that I never would have tried unless I had gone through these experiences. I've seen so many people over the years that when they get cancer, they think their life is over. There's this one incident I remember very clearly. I was at the cancer center getting ready to go for my treatment, and I ran into a woman who had gone through hell with breast cancer. And obviously she had taken many, many chemotherapy sessions. She was just at the point where she was giving up. She was thirsty and there was a water tank, and I remember her trying to walk over to the water tank very slowly because she was very weak. And when she got to the water tank, she filled the glass up and was so weak it just fell through her hand. And she just gave up, sat down on the floor and started crying, and she wasn't even gonna try to get another glass of water or do anything. She's just like, I want to die. I just saw someone totally give up on their fight with cancer, and I just wanted to help because I was only halfway through my treatment, so I wasn't at that desperate point yet. So instead of giving her the sympathy, I said, you need to get up because you're not going to die. And she was so embarrassed over the whole thing that she got up and she came over and talked to me, and we were good friends for a while. At least she made the most of what she could, and that was a really good thing. But so many people just give up and they don't want to fight. And if they would just take a minute to look and say, hey, you know, I have all these days ahead of me. There's so many things I haven't experienced and so many places I haven't gone. You have that extra 24 hours if you just find it in yourself to fight on. You have to live life to the fullest. You have to walk down life's path knowing that this could be your last moment on this earth. And if you do that, you know that you've made the most of this lifetime.
This isn't about MIDI, it's about mind over keyboard, so to speak.
Todd, you actually look really small and wimpy in this frame. Say something manly.
How can I say that's manly?
Got him on the spot.
I'm not.
I think people are going to have to hear your playing to see just how manly you are.
Yeah.
Every September, he puts his freshman students through boot camp. Let me start that again. Oh, fuck.
You guys have been following me everywhere. I really need to get some sleep tonight, so I'm going to have to ask you guys to leave. I'm not trying to be mean or anything. You know, I know you guys come to my shows. I really appreciate it, but this is a little ridiculous tonight.
I'm like something you need to hide away for when you're in trouble, and then you take me out and you use me like you want to. So.
Well, are you talking about booty calls?
Well, I don't know if I would use that, but.
Make it grand, make it big, make it epic.
Well, I tried to improve everything about myself. My personality, my body, and nothing seemed to work.
Is Ard coming out now?
Well, I'm not saying I'm gay, but I think, you know, I might have lesbian tendencies.
I would be playing my keyboards and they'd be pouring alcohol down my throat as I played. The fans love to do that.
Any blood in your stool?
No.
Sorry.
What purpose does that serve?
Good luck.
I see. And will that help you win?
Yeah, I'm gonna win. My lucky bone. Girl, I got a flat stomach right here. I went to the gym twice this week. Twice.
Okay.
It's a stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. What year is it?
Tell her the year.
It's a 91.
That's right. Brian just told you.
Good guess.
Brian
okay?
told me last night. No. She's right.
Oh, right.
She's right.
It was a good guess. That's all I said.
You tell Rizzo, that son of a bitch, if he wants it, he can get it on Saturday afternoon. That's the latest I'm going to go.
Do you have schnitzel lager?
The one with the dog?
The one with the dog, yes, schnitzel lager. I'll take one of those.
What?
That's what a lot of people say.
Yes, I do. I feel like I'm getting married. I do.
No one can seem to figure out where the weapon name came from. Do you happen to know?
Yeah, actually, I made it up. Do you remember that? That night on the beach?
No. I made it up.
What are you talking about?
We put our kids on drugs so that we don't have to deal with them.
Don't you think they take the drugs themselves?
No! You get a kid hooked on Adderall, what are you gonna do? If you get... Oh, I've got ADD. Do you know what I got? When I had ADD? KIA! Kick in the ass!
Very good, master.
What does a baseball bat have to do with a track event?
Back away, girls, before I knock you into tomorrow.
Get away from here!
We are as infinite as the stars. We are made of the same things. They are carbon and so are we. Why do we neglect the greatest resource we have? Our human energy. There is strength in darkness because it's untapped. Close your eyes and think. Focus. Embrace your darkness, embrace the dark side, let it come out. And if it can't, then give it to me. I'll do the job for you. All I want to do is tell your story. The story you don't want anyone to know. It will basically be our battle cry. We'll give you a good thrust
Master, wait.
Hey! Could you program them so that the top one plays your happy thoughts and the bottom one plays your sinister thoughts?
That's a very good question. I'd love to be able to do that.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check us out on all social media.
And don't forget to hit that notification bell.